Welcome back to another video, everyone. If you're new here, this is the very first start of a new series. This guy?
Yeah, everything is original. So if you pull that entire thing out, the slab is the original owner's manual, and it also has all the records of it being worked on in Japan.
That is amazing. I'm 6'6", so we're gonna test if the Giant fits in the Japanese vehicle. This video is Liam's Nissan Skyline, Japan to Canada, chasing a dream. So we'll start off with who you are, what your name is, and what you do for a living.
So my name is Liam. Basically what I do is I'm a customer service representative at the Bank of Montreal. I am on the front line dealing with all the clients every single day for as much as I can.
Let us know a little more about your dream here and what this is.
Well, luckily with the job is I can afford to have a project like this. I can really work my way around the financials. I grew up with the Fast and Furious. Paul Walker's Too Fast, Too Furious. He had the Skyline GTR. Obviously this is not that. This is just an ER34, so it's a 25 GT.
Yeah.
But the plans are to basically make it a miniature GTR as is. So a 4-door family sedan, but you can have a little bit of fun with it, right?
You're saying you want to do turbos. What is something you would possibly change, or what is something you are working towards doing in here? What got you into this style of living? This is obviously a Japanese retro sports car, like you're... Fast and Furious. So what got you into living Fast and Furious?
I have always been a fan of Japan, the Japanese culture, either the food that they have there, the living style that they have there, just the all in all Japan. Yeah. So when it came down to the cars, I love looking at cars. I absolutely love cars. I love driving them. My first car was a 95 Civic, so obviously this is a huge upgrade from that.
Definitely.
But from that point is, ever since I saw Too Fast, Too Furious, I've always wanted a car.
And that was the childhood one.
When I started doing some research on how to get one, it just became more of a reality and more of a goal. And now it's actually here. So one goal down and now another goal to come by. So the thing about this engine bay alone is that it is fairly stock. It is quite dirty at the moment. The biggest thing I want to be doing is obviously putting a turbo into it, making it that mini GTR. Obviously I'm going to be getting rid of the air intake right here and putting it in a cold air intake. Brand new exhaust manifold, turbo. Obviously I would be switching out the fuel injectors, which you can't see at the moment, and the fuel rail. And then the biggest thing to support all of that would be the NIS tune, just to actually support everything that I change. But besides that, it's mainly just for the looks of it and for the power that I get from the classic RB25.
What do you enjoy most about your car, and what are some features and personality traits of it?
The thing that I enjoy most about the car is the culture and history behind it. Being that it came from, obviously, the R32 Skyline, which is nicknamed Godzilla for a reason, with the record-setting lap records or rallies or anything like that. Is the car is just a staple in everything like that.
All right, moving on to our next question here, Liam. If you had to do one thing different, what would it be?
So right now the car has an RB25 Neo Series engine, so it doesn't come with a turbo. Obviously the one thing that I want to do is add a turbo to it. but the amount of work that goes into that is a little bit above my price range right now. But besides that, I mean, it would probably be the looks of the car. Better paint, brighter paint, or even decals to make it my own. So my own art on my own car. So it's definitely going to be future projects. Since I just recently got the car, obviously I want to enjoy it for what it's worth and really have the opportunity to drive it as I got it before I even touched the car.
What would you recommend to someone who wanted to do this as well? So possibly import a vehicle or even buy a import vehicle domestically that's already been imported?
So the biggest thing I have to say is research. I spent months and months and months researching what the engine is like, what I have to do to it, what is the maintenance on these kind of cars. And since I did import it and it came from Yokohama, Japan, I found a website that a lot of people used and was very reputable. So I used that, paid for a customs brokerage, so private brokerage. What that does is it helps you actually import everything, so you don't have to have that stress of filling out the forms and having more forms for ICBC. But besides that, it's really just take a look at the car as much as you can. If it's domestic, and if you have the chance to, drive to it and actually inspect the car while you're there.
I think it's only fair to show the viewers a little more around the car. We'll do a full 360 around the car and then possibly hop in it if that's okay with you, and talk about some of the little hidden features, your favorite features. So yeah, let's do a little 360 around the car. Take me around the body of the car. Like you were saying, the mirrors you noticed were a plastic material, not an aluminum. Mm-hmm. I see you have some rain guards. I imagine those aren't stock. So let's just go around and talk a little more about the car. You were saying you have a body kit on the car. Do you know what exact make the body kit is?
I want to say it's Alaya, but I'm not entirely too sure. The special thing about the car is that when the previous owner did have it, is they made a little bit of modifications to it. So they did put on the GTT bumper and GTT wing, which is why, of course, up at the front you see the GT emblem with the RB25 non-turbo. But on the bumper you can see the GTT emblem.
All right, thank you, Liam, for showing us around the outside of your car so far. I think it's time that we hop in it and show the viewers a little more about the inside, if that's okay with you. I am really excited to get in this.
By all means.
If I fit in it. I'm 6'6", so we're gonna test if the Giant fits in the Japanese vehicle. All right, you gotta hop in the driver's side and show me around the driver's side. I'll hop in the passenger side here. Sweet. So moving on into the interior of the car, let's look at some of the features, stock components of a, what year is this?
1999.
1999 Nissan Skyline.
So with the Skyline, obviously we're gonna have everything right here. So we're gonna have my fuel gauge, my oil pressure right there. We have my RPM gauge right there and the speedometer right there. Now, when it comes down to these cars, they only really go up to 180. Anything above that is gonna be the GTR, which goes up to 280, 320.
And once you probably turbo it, you're either gonna have to change the speedometer or you're just gonna be pushing that 180 and hoping for the best, and maybe put a digital tack up at that point.
Possibly. The GTTs do actually come with all of their gauges right here to show them the oil pressure, the boost gauge, and everything else.
Cool.
The weird thing about the car is that obviously my blinkers are gonna be on the right-hand side here instead of this side.
Definitely would throw me off being used to our North American cars.
That's exactly it. It's a little bit on the weird side. My fog lights as well, if you can see down here, is this small little button. And then I can also move my fog lights up and down with this little gauge.
Sweet. That is a super cool little feature. I see you get the front and rear defrost, the common ACs in here. Mm-hmm. You have, it looks like a pretty, I don't want to say pretty aftermarket, but a pretty updated dash as well as the stock dash, which is super cool to see. And it looks like you have some fun little trinkets down there, if you don't mind explaining what those are.
So these came with the car. What they are is, because it was a family car, you're obviously going to have these ports right here.
Oh, okay.
So they're little lighter ports. And in the back seat, you can actually see that there used to be a extender for it. so that the kids can plug in their devices.
Wow, okay, that's super cool. So you could run power through the car back in the 90s.
Exactly. Now the weird thing is that when I first got the car, obviously I have my 3 compact disc auto player right here. This used to be the original cassette player with it.
That's super, super cool.
So I took the cassette player out and I switched it with my JVC. So I had to do all the wiring on my own. When it came down to it, it was fairly easy. I just spliced the wires together and had to buy an adapter for it.
Definitely helps to be handy when you're working on your dream project.
You learn as you go. So I've learned.
That's
It's
awesome.
definitely a difference for it. The best part about the car is that it also came with this gauge right here. So when I turn the car on, obviously everything is Japanese, but I get to see a lot of these numbers that tell me my RPMs, the oil pressure, and oil temperature as well. So they did do a little bit more work for the tuning aspect for the car.
That's definitely nice to have those available when you need them as well. Those are pretty important when you're running a powerhouse like this.
The only thing I have to figure out is how to change it to English, and then I think I'll be set.
So looking at maybe some of the compartments, looks like you have standard fair size glove compartments and also glove box.
Yep, so the glove box actually has the original Japanese manual in it.
This guy?
Yeah, everything is original. So if you pull that entire thing out, the slab is the original owner's manual, and it also has all the records of it being worked on in
That
Japan.
is amazing. It is 3D embossed, translucent paper. I've had lots of Japanese candies, but when it comes down to Japanese history, I haven't had my hands on anything like this. So
You're gonna like this one.
is this like this is like their travel and insurance?
This is all the records of everything that's been done to the car, the maintenance, the inspections, the checks to it.
It's cool that it's like a receipt book. That is what we need here in Canada. That would be so much help, like so much more helpful for buying third-party vehicles, to be able to have this in your vehicle and keep that properly versus try and buy a Carfax that someone's maybe kept, maybe not kept. And these are like full diagrams on what happened and what they fixed, the treads of the car. So they literally kept all of the paperwork. All right, pop the manual away here. So you even have some OEM floor mats in here.
Everything's original.
That's amazing. That's amazing to see. I think we have wrapped up most of the interior here. Besides, got some dome lights, and
That's basically about it. I mean, you have the original lights all in here that still work.
sweet.
And then obviously you have a little bit more for this, which shows kind of the temperature of what you're at, the time and day it is. And then of course it is a manual, because I would never try and get an automatic.
Totally. And you also have the little mirrors in the foldaways, which is super handy as well, with the one mirror.
And then a little
Little,
rest right there. I
sweet.
try not to use it because obviously, as you can see, it's quite brittle.
Yeah, it is one of those things that ages with time.
But yeah, that's basically everything when it comes down to the car. I have all my controls on the side right here, so I do have an automatic window, and I do have the windows for everything else.
That's super nice.
I do have my child lock window, so if anybody's in the seat messing around, then I can block them from using the window. Child lock's right here as well. And then of course, when the car is on, I can fold in the mirrors and fold them out. Did you want to know a fun fact about the car as well?
Oh yeah.
And I think I already told you about this, but the original wheels that it came with from Japan had a ring of foam inside of them.
Really?
Yes, so when I took it to our local shop, Nechako Brake and Wheels, they were changing the tires out, and they actually had to stop what they were doing and gather around to just stare at the tires having this ring of foam, and it was easily a 2-inch